You're listening to a Frequency Podcast Network production.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Hey, I'm Brock.
I'm Dalby.
Welcome to Friday. We also have a special guest.
Hi,
What's your name?
Charlotte.
We've got Charlotte in here this morning. She's one of our coworkers' daughters, who you're a big fan of the podcast, by the way.
Yes,
You listen to our show more than your dad does, and he works here. That's crazy.
it's true.
Now, Charlotte, I gotta ask, how old are you?
10.
10.
You had to think about that for a second.
I think you might be our youngest listener. We're super stoked that you're here. Came in and sat on the show with us today. And I heard you have some questions for us.
Yes, I do.
Okay,
All right.
this is going to be a podcast exclusive, you interviewing us with your questions.
All right, what do you got, Charlotte?
So the first question is, why did you pick radio as a job?
For me particularly, playing hockey growing up, drove around the province all the time, and like all we did was listen to the radio, me and my old man, and I always had this weird fascination with the people on the radio. I thought it was a cool job, and then when I got to high school, I knew a girl who was kind of like volunteering at a radio station, and that was my first in. And then once I got to see like people in action doing stuff, and I was like, you can get paid to just tell fart jokes all the time. I thought it was awesome. Yeah.
I thought you got paid a lot more. I will say that. When I first decided to like start working at the volunteer radio station up in the territories and all that stuff, I was like, oh man, I'm gonna be rich and famous. And man, they beat that out of you in radio school real quick.
Charlotte, don't believe a thing he says. He makes way more money than everyone else.
Even if I make more than you, it's still not a lot.
What else you got?
My second question is, how did you meet each other?
He was already working in Regina at a radio station.
And he showed up and tried to steal my job.
I was hired as like the new guy, the weekend guy, and the weekend that I moved to Regina, what was it? There was like a Metallica road trip to Saskatoon.
Yeah, our radio station had done a giveaway where it's like you got dinner, a spot on a bus, and tickets to go see Metallica because they wouldn't come to Regina because the arena wasn't big enough.
Yeah.
So we would go to Saskatoon to see that concert.
So as I arrived in town, my boss was like, hey, like everyone's having drinks at this bar if you want to come. Next thing you know, they're like, we have an extra ticket to the Metallica concert. Me and this guy end up sitting beside each other on the bus.
Yeah.
We bonded over cigarettes. That's how we bonded.
They'll tell you smoking's bad for you, but if we did not both smoke at the time, who knows where this whole friendship could have ended up.
Yeah, we hung out at the Metallica concert, broed out pretty hard, and then ended up working together for a few years, and then, yeah, the rest is history.
Yeah, here we are today.
Yeah.
Wow.
With him making shirts that make me look like an old man.
And my third question is, how long have you been doing the morning show?
We've been doing the morning show here for, over 3 years now?
I think next week hits 3.5. If you want to go in terms of like I'm a toddler telling you my age, I think we're 3.5 years old now.
Yeah, 3.5.
On this show, but we also did about 4 months of a show together in Winnipeg before here, and it was about 6 months of a show together in Regina before we left.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so it goes back to the beginning, January 2020. Was the first time we did a show, like an actual Brock and Dalby show.
Yeah.
Which we just didn't tell our boss at the time about. We just did it.
Yeah. Nobody complained. Nobody wanted to pay us more either.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Wow.
There you go. So any other questions?
Those are my 3 questions. Now I have 3 riddles.
Oh, 3
we've
riddles.
got some riddles.
Oh, I'm going to smoke you on these.
Oh, God, yeah, I'm bad at this stuff.
So, my
Yes.
first one is a bunch of them are connected. They're all
Okay.
connected. So, there are 2,000 bricks on an airplane. One of them falls off. How many are there?
2,000 bricks on an airplane. One of them falls off the airplane.
Yes.
Fuck.
Brock! She's a child!
I've heard it.
She listens to the podcast.
I mean, the answer should be 1,999, but I feel like that's not correct.
It is.
It is correct.
Yes,
It is?
it is.
Damn it.
Oh, it was
Why did I
just
overthink that?
2,000 minus 1.
This is just the start.
I thought you had some tomfoolery. here,
That's
yeah.
stage 1. What's stage 2?
So, the second riddle of this long riddle
Yes.
is, how do you put an elephant in a freezer? A freezer.
You walk it in?
You open the door,
Yeah.
and then you put it in.
You open the door, you put it in, and shut it.
I am killing it here today. Okay. This is how you can tell I have 2 kids and you have none.
I'm just overthinking everything, yeah.
How do you put a giraffe in a freezer?
I know this one, and I'm going to let Brock answer it.
I'm going to assume that it's not opening the door and putting it in.
No, dummy, you open the door, take the elephant out, then put the giraffe in and close the door again.
Oh. Well played. Well played.
This is just something I put in it.
Okay.
Is your fridge running?
Loudly, yes, it is running.
Then you better go catch it.
You know what? You got a lot of potential.
I like
you got
your
a lot
style.
of potential there.
I like your style. We need a third person on the show. We know who we're coming for.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for coming in. Any more questions or riddles?
There's a bunch.
All right. Pick your best one. One more, and we'll wrap up the intro here.
All right, so let's do... There was a lady. She was walking across a stream. When she got to the other side, she died. How?
She drowned?
No.
She got to the other
walked.
side.
She walked
Yeah.
to the other
She
side.
walked across the stream. As soon as she got to the other side, she died. Was the stream a waterfall?
No.
Okay. Maybe she fell down the waterfall.
Someone like pee on her? I don't know. That kind of stream?
Come on. I think you've got a stump. How did
Yeah.
she die?
The brick fell on her head.
The brick fell off from the plane.
From the plane.
Oh,
It all comes full circle.
well played.
I was so distracted by the animals in the fridge.
You had me throughout the entire thing. I didn't get it. Right.
Thank you so much for coming in on the show. We appreciate you listening, and hopefully you can give your dad some tips on good taste.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
The Olympics are coming up this summer,
Hell yeah.
and I just saw news that over 16,000 mattresses were delivered to the Olympic Village, and the designer behind the rooms at the Olympic Village is confirming that the beds are not anti-sex.
Yes.
They're not having those collapsible beds like they did in Tokyo a few years ago.
It was just such a silly idea. The idea of we have all these fully grown consenting adults coming over here, and we're going to try and force them to not do something was just silly.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of it was pandemic protocols and stuff like that. But, I mean, if you talk to any Olympic athlete, the stories they have,
Oh, absolutely.
those villages are just a free-for-all slugfest, you know?
Life finds a way.
Yeah. Which, I think, honestly, if we're going to let any people breed, let the Olympians breed,
Well,
dude.
you've been a proponent of this for quite some time since I've known you, is saying we have literally humanity's most gifted, physically gifted people all in one place.
Genetic freaks.
This is not the time that we should be getting choosy about
We could be
who-
breeding superhumans. Literally, I think they should take like different people in different categories. Like I don't know. You take like a swimmer and a gymnast.
Oh, okay.
Imagine the child they have.
Honestly, yeah.
Oh my God, the javelin and a shot put. That kid would be able to throw a house.
That's true. Yeah. Or they get some hammer throw in there. I think
Yeah.
well, you see, that's what it is. You do the javelin for the accuracy, and then just the shot put, the hammer throw for the bulk,
Get
for
like
the muscle.
get like a bodybuilder and what's that like rhythmic gymnastics, the ribbon thing?
ribbon twirling?
Yeah. You're jacked and you've got good rhythm as well.
No. Here's what you do: find me one of them Olympic bodybuilding type weightlifters, and then find me the person that wins the marathon event. Find someone who's got some distance running in them.
Yeah.
And then you bring together the strength and the endurance. You got just big, jacked monsters running all over the place.
I think overall what they should do is they should have one big, dare I say it, orgy. Where you take all the gold medalists.
Only the gold medalists.
Only gold, because you want the cream of the crop, dude.
Theoretically, you could finish as low as 30th in an Olympic event.
Yeah.
Which, you're still great.
Take only the gold medalists.
That's right.
Put them in a room together and just let it happen.
Imagine the pressure of being a double gold medal baby, though. Like, your parents are both Olympic gold medal athletes. You go out for your first day of, like, track and field, and you trip over a hurdle. Like, you'd never be able to go home. The pressure would be immense.
It should only be people who place with a medal who get to breed at the
Everybody
Olympics.
else gets a collapsible bed.
Yeah, they put like a chastity belt on you as soon as you get there, and until you get your medal, that's when they take it off.
The bed is designed to fall apart unless the structural integrity of a medal is added into like one of the legs.
Yeah.
And then it holds up.
That whole Notre Dame play like a champion today thing really has a lot more meaning, you know?
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
One thing about living with kids is you go through a lot of Kleenex. They are disgusting.
Oh, you just wait till the boy goes through puberty.
At least those Kleenexes I don't have to clean up. You know, you just put a garbage can in the bedroom and then you call it a day.
Hopefully.
I was putting out a fresh box yesterday in the living room, and I don't know why, but I got sort of struck by the artwork on the Kleenex box. And it got me thinking, do you think anybody's ever gone to like art school, graphic design school, thinking one day my work is going to be on a snot rag box?
I don't think that's the plan, but I think that ends up like where you end up sometimes, you know?
It's just interesting to think that, like, you know, probably somebody who grew up a lot like my oldest, a big art fan, loves drawing, loves sketching, loves painting, doing all these artistic things. Then that person went to probably some sort of college, some sort of design school. And now they're just like, all right, how do we make people buy this specific brand of Kleenex?
Oh, yeah. I mean, just think about how tough of an industry that is to get in.
Honestly.
Like, I mean, go on like any website or something, like someone's designed that as...
Yeah.
I mean, you go on the hub, someone spent time designing that logo at one point. Might not be their proudest moment, but...
do you think if you're... Because I was actually just about to ask this. Like, if you are the artist who designed a graphic for a Kleenex box, do you, like... get one from the store and like hang it up on the wall, like this, get it framed. This is what I do.
Do you
but
think
now,
your mom like collects them or something?
Now I'm more curious. Do you think the person who designed the logo for the hub has a framed copy in there?
I'd hope so. I really hope so. They also change it up when the seasons come around and stuff.
True.
Around Christmas, Halloween. So there is someone that works as a graphic designer for the hub. You know, like
going back to the Kleenex box too. The thing is like. I have to assume some amount of work has gone into the designs on all these different boxes. Have you ever once looked at the shelf and been like, oh, this one's pretty, I'll buy this one, as opposed to just grabbing the one that's in arm's distance?
No, but I found it funny. Like one year for Christmas, like I just got a throwaway like gift from my dad, and it was like a Toronto Maple Leafs like Kleenex like box set or whatever.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, did you pick this out for me as a joke? Like, did you think I'd actually like it? Was it the irony of, like, I'm supposed to cry in it? Like,
right, yeah. Like, does it go, like, over a regular Kleenex box to make
No. Like, the box was just a Leafs logo. Like, that's what it was.
Where would you even get
there is a marketing strategy, I guess. Like, your eyes appeal to certain things.
Yeah,
like,
no,
right?
that's true. At some point, your dad saw a Kleenex box and thought of you, and that's
I guarantee
sweet.
you there's, like, people that go to the store and they're like, oh, beautiful ocean waves. Like,
yeah. The thing with sports teams, though, is, like, you can put the sports team logo on almost anything, and people will buy it.
Yeah.
Like, you look at the Saskatchewan Roughriders in the CFL, I have seen, from my time living in Saskatchewan, they'll put their logo on pretty much anything, and you go, this is too far. You've pushed too far. No one's going to buy this. I once watched a guy buy a sink stopper just because it had a Saskatchewan Roughriders logo on the like part that you push into the sink.
That's dedication, dude.
It is supreme dedication. There's just something obsessive about sports teams, whereas like a beach scene on your Kleenex box, like I don't think anybody's keeping that when the box is empty.
You never know. There's a collector's market for just about everything.
God, that's true.
I guarantee you there's probably some people out there that are like collecting Kleenex boxes.
Yo, is that a 2004 blue stripes with white dots? How much you want for that? I'll buy it right now.
I guarantee you there's some psychopath that's doing that.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
I work for a company that deals with people's houses. Don't want to get into why I'm in their houses, but I see all sorts of collectible stuff. And the weirdest one I've ever seen was how can I put this? A female personal adult item collection. And it was a history of, like, they went back in time and had, like, a wooden one. And
Jesus.
They had acoustic dildos, is what you're telling me?
I might be a little more professional than that, but adult personal care item. Yeah, they had a whole history of them.
So hang on. Were they just like out proudly on display on the China hutch, or?
No, they were in a box.
Okay.
It does get pulled out to show people. So
Yeah, I was imagining like they're in like display cases or something.
Right, like when you said like they had the history of it, I thought it was like from oldest to newest, that sort of thing, with like a written history underneath.
literally about the time this appliance was manufactured or used. Don't know if it was by them, but they had a whole history of adult stuff, and that was just part of that kind of collection.
So I don't know if they were collectors or more just freaks, you know?
Well, they had paddles and other stuff too, but they had a whole history of like stuff.
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
I had to issue an apology this morning because Melinda, she sent us a strongly worded note about my shirt that I put out of Dalby at badshop.ca, all in support of the Canadian Cancer Society. It said, "Hey, Brock, I just wanted to say that shirt you made of Dalby is insanely rude and disrespectful. Listening on the radio, I can tell that Dalby was upset. Frankly, I don't know how he puts up with your abuse. You say he's your friend, and then you do something like this. Honestly, I'm surprised you haven't been scolded by management or even fired for some of the things you do. I think it would be wise to take the shirt down before you ruin your friendship and relationship with Dalby." So with that being said, I issued an apology to my friend Dalby here, and I also issued an apology to Melinda.
Yeah.
Sorry, I will not take down the shirt. But I get where you're coming from.
And again, just in case anybody missed it earlier, just to establish, I am not offended by the shirt. I think it's funny. Our friendship is not in jeopardy. The show is not on the rocks.
My relationship with Melinda probably is, but I issue a
sorry.
And because I issued a sorry today, we asked you guys text in 762-555. Do you have any apologies here this morning? And we've got some coming through. Someone said, "I want to apologize to my neighbors for peeing off my deck every morning."
Sorry.
Why are you doing that?
I don't know.
Why?
It's probably very freeing, actually.
I want to read Smiley's, who says, "I apologize to my employees for eating kippers, then leaving the can in the lunchroom garbage for the weekend.
Oh, gross.
By Monday, it was a bit smelly."
Oh, God.
Smiley.
Sorry.
Just hotboxing the whip with kippers?
Dude.
Oh, God. All right, we got another one here. It says, "I want to apologize to my wife. I'm sorry I didn't agree with you the other day when you were talking about how much your coworker is a female dog. And I said that you were in the wrong."
Sorry.
Rookie mistake, dude. Rookie mistake.
This one here comes from, you know what? Nope, I'm going to leave this one anonymous. It says, "Sorry to the two guys we recently hired. You don't listen. You seem untrainable. I give you about another month." If you just got a job recently, maybe just double down, put in a little more effort, all right?
Sorry.
Someone just said, "I'd like to apologize to my boss because I'm not putting in the effort I should be."
Sorry.
Are those ones related? I don't know. I don't know. Another one here. "I'd like to apologize to my buddy Craig. The reason most of us don't hit you up anymore is because your girlfriend kind of sucks, bud."
Oh, sorry.
That's a tough one.
That stings. Also, I feel bad for anyone named Craig this morning who's listening to this.
Who's just having a moment of like, whoa, hey. That's the problem when these are like just vague enough that they
Yeah.
could change a few people's
Yeah.
days. This one here says, "I apologize to the hotel staff on my last family trip. They were wearing suits and ties when they had to come fix the toilet after my son used it."
Oh, no.
Sorry.
I go in here. It says, "I work at..." you know what? I was going to say the name, but I'll keep it anonymous. "I work at a restaurant. Last weekend, I cut my finger pretty bad.
Oh, no.
So I put a Band-Aid on it. About an hour later, I noticed I didn't have the Band-Aid anymore. Sorry to whomever may have found it."
Sorry.
Dude, that happened to me at Harvey's once.
No.
I was on the fryers. Some old guy came up and he's like, "Excuse me,
Oh, God.
do you want more fries?" He's like, "No." Fair enough.
How do you make that better for someone?
Refund.
You just really
refund.
can't. That's it. Yeah, we'll never see you again. Sorry.
All right, we'll wrap up with this one here. Yesterday when I was at McDonald's, I had to go to the bathroom, and I decided to use the handicap stall. Oh, no. About halfway through, I saw some wheels pull up.
No.
Safe to say, someone who needed it more than I did had to wait for me to finish.
Sorry.
That's rough.
I already am not a big fan of using public washrooms. That is my nightmare scenario. It's someone just sitting outside the stall.
I don't know what you say. Like,
I don't think you say anything. I think it's either one of two things, right? Either you would just avoid eye contact, you go wash your hands, you get out, you never come back again. Or you get right into it. What's up, man? Hey, warmed it up for you. It's all yours, brother. Have fun. Get in there.
do you think you like limp on the way out just to try and make it look like you were supposed to use it?
No, because I bet 9 times out of 10 that just feels like they think you're making fun of them.
Yeah.
You know, I think you
There's
just
not
gotta
a good
own
way
it.
to go about it, is
You
there?
just gotta own it. You just gotta be like, hey, it was the only one that was open.
You can't like usual suspects your way out of there like Kevin Spacey.
No, because he's gonna see you back out in the restaurant walking perfectly normal and go, what the hell?
I think you just leave. You go home, dude.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
It's hard to believe that tomorrow's going to be June 1st.
Oh,
I know.
I don't know why. I wasn't prepared for that statement this morning.
Right? This year just feels like it's flying by.
Really? Honestly does.
And I was realizing, 6 months. I mean, we're not at the halfway point of the year just yet, but we're 6 months into the year.
Yeah, we're coming into the 6th month, and then, oh my God. It's crazy that we're this close to the back half.
If you've listened to this show for a while, you know that like when the year comes to an end, before we take our vacation, before Christmas and stuff, we always do a year in review.
It's so fun to watch you try and list off all the things as your face gets redder and redder.
We'll put 60 seconds on the clock, and I'll try and run through like almost every big story that we've talked about in the year.
Yeah.
And so I realized yesterday that like we're at June, so I started trying to put that list together in advance.
Well, 'cause,
to try and just get ahead of it.
Behind the scenes, Brock never puts the list together until like the day before we go on vacation.
Yeah.
So you're always scrambling to get it together. We always miss some stuff.
Dude, and as I was doing it, it was blowing my mind of the stuff that has already happened this year alone, 6 months into the year. So I kind of want to try and do a 6-month year in review so far of 2024.
It's crazy that the most recent thing is a former United States president getting 34 felony charges, and now you have to go back from that.
I'm going to put a minute on the clock and see how many of these I can run through, and I think some of these you're going to have forgot for sure, right?
Almost certainly.
Can you count me in?
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
Obviously, like you said, Donald Trump was found guilty. We had the Gathering of the Brocs.
Yeah.
Little John had that meditation album. Cat Williams absolutely went off on the Shannon Sharp podcast. Pork-flavored lattes were a thing at Starbucks. Mars was declared unsafe for humans. Viagra causes Alzheimer's, apparently. There were those secret tunnels in New York City. People lost body parts to watch the Kansas City Chiefs. Also, the Kansas City Chiefs did win another Super Bowl. Measles was making a comeback. Door flew off a plane. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff that just happened with planes. It's been a bad year for planes. The Dune popcorn bucket. Neuralink had the first patient. Elmo got trauma dumped on. King Charles has cancer. Also, the princess does as well. Trump sold some expensive-ass shoes. Sublime made a comeback with Bradley Noel's son. Diddy is the diddler. Red Lobster goes bankrupt. That girl got hit by the ball at the Jays game. She has her own card. Austin Matthews got 70 goals. Of course, the Leafs lost in the first round. 6G is now a thing. The eclipse happened. Oh, damn. I still have more.
I would imagine you only just got to the free bingo card space, which is the Leafs lost in the playoffs. But what are some highlights that you didn't make it to?
The eclipse, I got cut off saying that. 115 people in Ontario got eye damage from the eclipse.
Staring at the eclipse.
We don't need doctor's notes anymore. Remember that? The 4-liter vodka jugs in Alberta. Marineland is closing.
Oh my God, I forgot how Marineland is gone.
Netflix and WWE partner up. That dude that attacked the judge in Las Vegas. Facebook and Instagram shut down. Rogers had a shutdown for a bit too. There was that Raptors player that got caught betting on the team. And then also they're trying to get rid of bagged milk.
And you know what? Out of all those things, it's the last one that's the most important.
It is. It is.
A fight for the very soul of our nation.
All of that has happened in the past 6 months, dude.
It will have officially been 5 months of 2024 when you wake up tomorrow morning, and the list is already too long to fit in before the buzzer.
Yeah.
Good luck in December, bud.
If you feel like time has been standing still, brother, I tell you it hasn't, man.
I can't believe I forgot about Marineland. That's
Dude.
crazy.
And don't forget about the bagged milk thing. We need to keep taking a stance on that. That cannot happen.
No, you're right. It cannot happen that we keep making bagged milk. We have to get rid of it.
Shut your mouth.
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Ed's word of the day.
See what he's got.
Good morning. Today's word, knobby. Yep, knobby. N-O-B-B-Y, knobby. Chick, and it's chick or fashionable.
Chick?
Chick.
I don't know.
I don't think we're supposed to say chick.
Yeah, I don't know how to take it. Someone looked at me and said, you look kind of knobby. Anyways, that's about it. Have a great one. Cheers her up.
All right, I Googled it here. It is chic that he meant to say.
Oh, it's chic.
Navi, like chic, like smart.
I thought he was saying, because Ed's got a certain way about him, I thought he was saying it means like a well-dressed woman, a well-dressed chick.
Yeah.
It's chic.
I will say, like, knobby is interesting because, like, I've had people call me a knob before, and
Sure.
I don't think...
Well, apparently the difference is the silent K, right? Because this is N-O-B-B-Y.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, if you said I got knobby knees, that's K-N-O-B-B-Y.
Yeah, yeah.
Apparently, the K is the insulting part. Knobby means you're fashionable, you're with it, you're chic. You put a K on there and you're kind of rickety and maybe falling apart.
I have a hard time believing that if you called anyone knobby that they'd take it complimentary, but...
Yeah, I think it's another one of those words that, like, you can use it in your everyday language, but you're going to have to explain yourself a lot unless you just feel like throwing hands.
Knobby's like that weird dude from the Lord of the Rings twin brother, is that...
Sorry, are you thinking of Dobby from Harry Potter?
Harry Potter, that's it!
The only reason I know that is my name has been mistaken.
Sorry,
for
I was
Dobby.
busy playing sports growing up. I didn't pay attention to that stuff.
Too busy talking to girls.
Nah, I don't know about that either. I was too busy being outside.
Between saying chic is chick and saying Dobby is from Lord of the Rings, there's a lot to be angry about with today's word of the day.
I'm not quite knobby myself, I guess. Knobby. Use it wherever you can, all right?
Or don't. It's fine too.
For more Brock and Dalby, tune in weekday mornings 5:30 to 9.
The Brock and Dalby podcast is brought to you by badshop.ca, the Brock and Dalby merch store. With all proceeds going to the Canadian Cancer Society.